As an immigrant, you are going to work. Work is going to be a major part of your life. Oh, nobody told you. And there's different reasons for that. So once you get into the country, you have to look after yourself, rent a house, you're paying your bills, taking care of whoever it is that you have brought with you. And then some people also still have family back home that they need to cater to. And then we have the president general among the nations, those ones that they will get to the UK after 2 months. They're already building houses in their village. For one reason or the other, you will need money and you'll have to work to get that money. So the earlier you understand how the British workplace works, the better for you. If not, you're just going to be stuck doing menial jobs or just be stuck in one particular position for the rest of your life. Hey there, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wande. It's always good to have you here. I'm just going to go straight into today's video because I have wanted to talk about this for so long. Today, I will be talking about the real reason why I ran away from the UK. Just ignore every other thing I've ever said. I know I've said a lot of things, but this one is the main reason. And I'm talking about the workplace culture shock or my British workplace experience. Now, working as a student is quite different from any other type of visa. First of all, you're restricted to 20 hours of work a week, meaning that you can only do part-time jobs and you can only work for like 2 days a week if you stick to it. Because I know that some students have coconut hair, they did not stick to it. But if you stick to it, that means you're only going to work for about 2 days a week. You will not get to experience the British workplace fully that way until you start to work full time. And the reason is that you will not have a lot of options when it comes to jobs because of your restrictions. So there's only certain kind of jobs that you can get. And you're also earning a tax-free income because you're not working a lot. Most of the income that you make as a student, you're not going to get taxed on it. The first job that I ever got was at Royal Mail in Northampton, and I lived in Birmingham because I was in BCU. And we'll travel from Birmingham to Northampton. That was my first introduction to how British people actually work. You stand for hours. Imagine having a 10-hour shift and you're standing for 10 hours. People cried, people complained. I saw a lot of videos during that period, having a rethink like, wait, I left Nigeria for this. But me, I did not cry because I had it at the back of my head that it was temporary. And I just had hope that, once I get my post-study visa, it will be different. At least that's what I thought at that time. So I did that job for a while and it was kind of funny because when we arrive in the morning for our shifts, they will divide us into sections. And most times, guess the people that end up getting the difficult sessions. Yes, we are the ones. They will put us in the hardest parts. So Royal Mail was even better than some other warehouses. I had friends that worked with Amazon and DHL. I know those ones, they're very bad because they carry heavy things. They ship heavy things. So they will come back home like this and they cannot feel their legs. It's be as if they went to fight, like someone beats them. Royal Mail wasn't that bad because Royal Mail doesn't really do heavy stuff. It wasn't that bad in terms of the work, but the environment, I realized that once we're just maybe trying to rest a bit, maybe there's nothing to do, or by just chatting, you just see one supervisor coming from somewhere. I think they had cameras to watch everybody to come and break you up. But then when you look at the other people, the other ones that don't look like us, they kind of do whatever they want. You'll be like, where are the supervisors now to come and break this apart? Most times you even see them joining them. I started to notice unfair treatment right from the warehouse. I have a friend, he's Igbo, he's light skin. What he used to do was that he would wear a face mask and he would wear a head warmer or a beanie. Because when I traveled, COVID was still kind of a thing, so it wasn't weird to wear face mask. He would wear it. His skin is very light. So he would go for his shifts and you notice that most times they pick him to work with the Indians and all the other Asians and they send them to the sections of the warehouse that are not very hard. And he told me by himself that the rest like this, they'll just send them to offloading. So offloading are the people that bring out the things from the trucks. Although they'll have some tools that they use, but it's still hard. From what I heard, there are literally people watching you and shouting at you like you are slow, you need to be faster. Imagine you're carrying heavy things and somebody's telling you you need to be faster, you're too slow. It's giving taskmaster. That was like my first experience. I only did that job for a while because it was a seasonal job. I think I did it from maybe October to December. It wasn't too long. And then I had to change my job. That's when I switched to hospitality. So I found this hospitality job through a Nigerian flatmate. He introduced me to it and I didn't even realize it was a Nigerian agency. So when they added us to the group now, those ones now started doing their, their regular Nigerian behavior. They will post shift on the group. People will start fighting for the the shift. Like, when you throw meat to dogs and all of them are, that's how they will just post the shift, blah, 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 at so and so place, 7 p.m. You start seeing people commenting, I'm available, I'm available, I'm available. And when we've now finished all the I'm available, these people will still go and choose who they want. It's first come, first serve. It's a lie. Sometimes some people that don't even comment on that group, when you get to the work, you will see them there. I noticed they now started doing this whole Nigerian thing. We even introduced one of our friends that is Portuguese. She's black, but she's Portuguese to the thing. They now started carrying her like egg. They will now be giving her shifts, giving her special shifts. Nigerian agency. Now we they do ourselves. Later when I talk, people will say, hey, you're spreading the narrative, you're spreading the narrative. Person where we carry go agency, she they even see shifts pass us. Sometimes she'll say that she's going to work. I'll be like, which work? She'll be like, oh, they didn't post it on the group. They sent it to me privately. Nigerian agency. Una, well done. So what I did was, once I got to work the next time, I started talking to other people. I started asking them, where are you working? Which agency? So people now told me, they told me the name of their agencies, and I just wrote everything down. When I got home, I started applying to those agencies. And luckily for me, one of them picked me, and then I started working with those ones. So I would still go to that same venue, but under a different agency, because that's rubbish. The straw that broke the camel's back for me was the day that I applied for a shift. They just acted like they did not see the message. Somebody that commented later after me, and I saw him going to work. I was like, where are you going? He said, they gave him shift too. But you didn't comment on this group. You commented late. See, when I commented that, they didn't give me. I messaged them. The excuse they gave was just not adding up. I just went to the group chat and I deleted myself. I did not leave Nigeria to come and be facing Nigerian wahala. So I reported to the other agency. I started getting shifts normally. That one, everybody applies online. Even though they still do their own favoritism, because they have what they call heroes of the agency. So those ones are likely to get shifts first. But even at that, I started getting more shifts. And the funny thing, for the same job that I was doing under the Nigerian agency, this new agency, that's a white agency, was paying me more. These are the issues. So when I say some things, people think I'm just talking. I'm talking from experience. Even the hospitality job was also stressful because it required a lot of lifting as well. Carrying plates, sometimes hot plates, guy. As the chef is plating it, you're carrying it. So sometimes it's always very hot. When you're clearing as well, they'll give you like a section. The section can have like 10 tables. So imagine you have to clear all the plates, all the glass cups, all the cutlery, everything from the table. The amount of lifting that we did. And then when you've now finished clearing, although we don't wash the plates, we give it to the kitchen porter. But the glass cups, we're in charge of putting it in the dishwasher. You will carry trays and trays of glass cups, wine glasses. It's like never ending. Anybody that knows Hilton knows how big some of their events can be. Sometimes we will cater to events of like 1,000 people, 700 people, 300 people. At the end of that kind of shift, guy, you are wasted. You're back. There were days I genuinely wanted to cry. I'm like, what is this? And the funny thing is that it's not just about you. That's how they all work. You will even see your manager, your supervisor too, doing the same thing. So it's not even like they're targeting you. That's just the way they work. And I'm thinking to myself that this cannot be right. There's no way you're telling me that this doesn't have repercussions. From your 20s, you are standing. You are standing for 10, 12 hours. It's not possible for you to get away with it. It's crazy. And then we'd get home in the midnight because it's hospitality now. They close whenever they want, whenever they feel like, especially parties. Sometimes we'll have to even push people out of the hall. The party is over, go home. So we end up getting home very late. But I think the experience was good for me because the crowd in hospitality is quite different from the crowd in like a warehouse or a care home. Hospitality kind of opened my eyes and helped me acquire a bit of cultural capital. So I could get experiences and get knowledge from people that I could use in other conversations, right? It helped to brush up my personal and social skills. When I'm talking to people, I could be more confident talking to them because hospitality is the kind of job that people want to talk to you, even people that don't know you. So your guests, they're there. You are thinking that, oh, my job is just to serve them food. And then you get there, but they want to chat with you about something not even related to food. So you have to learn how to keep conversations going. That's how you get tips. That's how you get good reviews at the end of the day, and that's how your agency knows to keep sending you. When you have good reviews and the company wants to keep you, your agency will know that they had to keep sending you. There was never a time that I considered doing care or support jobs. And it wasn't even because the job is the way it is. It was just out of fear. Aside how hard the job actually is, and all the other things that come with it. There's no way on earth that I am qualified to have somebody's life in my hands. Anyone that knows that job knows that it's the easiest way for you to land in prison, get in trouble. Because ignorance is not an excuse. You cannot say, oh, I made a mistake. So me, I'm always wondering, like, how is it possible? Okay, you said you would train me, but I just don't see how it's possible for me to be able to look after somebody. Especially some people that have like illnesses or people that are actually sick. I cannot do it. I never submitted not even one application for a care or a support job. I just like my head. I'm like, no, I cannot. And I'm a trained teacher from Nigeria, right? I studied education. That was another reason why I avoided, you know, teaching jobs in the first place. Because the way they do their things there is just different. And I don't know when the Nigerian in me can slip out. And I will just go and tell one chap, you get out from that place. I will not go and land in trouble. So I had to like be patient with myself. I'm like, look, this anyone that knows the UK knows that there are some category of people that are protected by the government. So if you have a disability, if you're old, if you're underage, not underage, is it underage? Yeah, if you're a child, a minor, any issue involving any of these people is taken very seriously. So if you're going to work with any of these categories of people, you have to be very careful. You have to have a lot of self-control. You have to be properly trained. If not, you will just go from I came to school in the UK to you just find yourself in police station. You find yourself in courts, in prison because of ignorance. So I never even ventured into that aspect of work at all. Even though people say, "Oh, I'm getting £17 an hour." I'm like, good for you. I will collect my £11, my £12 in peace because that extra £5 is not worth me getting in trouble for. So after working with Hilton for a while, I don't know what happened. I think I stopped getting enough shifts or I just wanted two sources of income. I can't really remember what happened. I decided to apply for a permanent job. So I applied to this place called Marco Perry White. It's MPW Steakhouse in Birmingham. Very popular place. So I got the job and then it was a part-time job. That was the first experience I had of having a black, I don't even want to say black, but you know what I mean. Someone of color as a supervisor and the pepper that they showed me. When even there are certain things that she would do that her fellow white supervisors will look at her like, is it not, are you not overreacting? Like, is this not too much? And that was the first time that I realized that just because someone has your skin color does not mean that they have your best interest at heart, or does not mean that they are going to be for you. Sometimes they even make your life worse. Anyway, I did that job for a while and then I still ended up leaving it because I think I stopped getting shifts as well. They would give me shifts on maybe on a Monday. Then my shift is for Thursday or Friday. On Friday morning, they will now call me and say, "Oh, the event we're expecting was cancelled. We're not gonna be busy, so we're gonna cancel your shift." I'm like, you and lucky for me, I still had that agency job, but I liked the fact that I was getting to such like I was getting money from two places. But then they would just call me and cancel my shift randomly, and I'm just like, let me just focus all my energy on this agency because these people are not even serious. So I think I now later focused solely on the agency. Or before that, I also worked in another place called Roxy Ballroom. That's in Birmingham as well. My I think my second or third shift, there was this particular girl on shift, a white girl. Anything I do, she's just following me, watching me. And she's not a supervisor, she's not a manager, she's nothing. She's just a worker like me. And that time, I didn't even understand the way British people work. I was just like, who is this one? Who be this one? So she now said something to me. I was like, can you focus on your job? Can you mind your business and leave me alone? You're not my boss. Like I told her direct. Me, I did not even know that time how to, indirectly. I told her straight. She went to the manager. She was almost crying. She was very upset. And then the mistake I made was that I now followed her to the manager's place. So I heard it when she was saying, "Oh, you better get her. You better get her." And the manager was trying to calm her down. So me, I was now talking to her like, "What do you mean? What are you going to do?" The manager was like, "I think you need to go home." I was like, "Me, I need to go home." Me, that was on my own, minding my business. Somebody came to look for my trouble. Anyway, I just carried my bag and I left. And I didn't go back. I just called them. I said, cancel all of my shifts. Because no matter how much I need money, I still have pride. You cannot be doing me like tossing me up and down. Like you would never catch me in situations like that. And I think that was the reason why I changed jobs a lot, because I cannot stay in a place where I'm being disrespected or where I'm being trampled upon, because I respect myself. I respect my time, my energy, the efforts that I put into working. So I'm not going to allow anybody rubbish it. So when they did that, I just told them to cancel all my shifts and I collected the money for the work I had done, and then I just moved on. So I focused fully on that agency that I was talking about. And I worked with them till I graduated basically. And then I had to move back to London. One of the major challenges of working in hospitality for me at that time was being familiar with names of foods and beverages. I remember the first time that I saw, I will call it bruschetta, even though Italians say it's bruschetta or bruschetta. I don't know, but I'll just say bruschetta. The first time I saw it on a menu, I was like, I didn't even know what it was. So one of the guests called me and she asked me, she was like, "Oh, what's for starters?" And I was like, brew. She's like, "Oh, bruschetta." I was like, "Yes, bruschetta." And I had many instances like that where I would see things just because I'm not familiar with it. Like it would take me a while to understand what the person is talking about. The first time someone asked me for a JD and a Coke, I was like, "What's JD?" I just wrote it, but I had to go and ask a colleague of mine because they will look at me like, how can a waitress not know what JD is? I don't even drink, so I didn't. My mind did not go to the fact that he was talking about Jack Daniels. So it was like Jack Daniels and a Coke. So I had a lot of experiences like that where people would say things and I would not know what they were talking about. I remember a friend of mine told me a story. He went to same hospitality. He went for a job interview, and then there's this thing they do. They call it trial shift. So you work for like sometimes half a day, maybe you work for like 4 hours or 3 hours, and they will not pay you. Oh. Some of them don't pay you, but some of them will pay you if you eventually get the job. But most times it's not paid. You work for like 3 hours. They want to see how you work. They want to see if you'll be a good fit for the company, right? So you just be there and work for 3 hours like a normal staff. Then he was doing his trial shift, and then he was put on the bar. And then he said when they will come and ask him for things, he'll be like, eh, eh. The manager was like, that is very rude. Like, how can you be saying yes, yes? Say what? Say what? Like, it is rude to the customers, but he didn't know. Like Nigerian mentality now, we don't know that that is like it can come off as rude, right? So he would say they can ask now, oh, can I have a glass of Sauvignon Blanc? And he's like, Kilon just Sauvignon Blanc. And it's white wine, but they would not say, oh, white wine. They will just because they are talking to you, they don't know where you are from. They think that you know. So they will just talk to you normally. So I had a lot of learning to do. But I really liked the fact that I worked in hospitality because it opened my eyes to so many things. When I first started working in the UK, I used to focus a lot on the work. Just let me just do my work. Let me just do my work. I now realize that I ended up working harder than a lot of people. I know you're all getting paid the same. So nobody's checking if who did more work. Everybody gets paid the same. I realized that while me, I'm focusing on work, work, work. There are people gisting with the supervisors, gisting with the managers, gisting with each other. Even though that one is highly frowned upon, but me, I'm just there working, 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 working. And I realized I will get home very tired. And then all the people that were laughing and playing and just taking their time throughout the whole shift, they will get paid the same as you. And I was doing that because I was avoiding talking too much. I didn't like, when I first got there, I didn't like talking too much. I don't know what to say. I don't have enough experiences to be able to engage you in a conversation. So I would avoid it, like, by all means. My conversations used to be really short because I don't know what to say. So I would just be focusing on the work. One thing that I regret was that I didn't pay attention to this early enough. If I had paid attention to this while I was still working as a student, it would have been much more easier for me to transition into working full time and just basically understanding how the whole system works. Maybe I would not have had 11 jobs in 3 years, but I was just like, I just want to come work, get my money, and go." I did not realize that I was suffering myself. So please, if you work in the UK, pace yourself. There's no award for most hardworking. Oh. So while you are busy running up and down and carrying everything, some people are just taking their time. They are just doing silence carefully, and they will still get paid the same as you. So use your use your sense. Don't let anybody cheat you. As fast as you can, you need to make efforts to understand the British culture and understand how the British people do things. That is what will save you a lot of stress. So it's not like they don't get angry. It's not like they don't disagree. It's not like they don't express tiredness or frustrations. They do, but they have a way that they do it. If you carry your Nigerian way of expression there, you are going to run into serious problems. Not because what we're doing is wrong. I don't believe that what we're doing is wrong, but just because it's not their way of life. So what you might feel like is a normal conversation, they will say, "Oh, she confronted me. I am scared. She made me feel this and that." They will go and cry. Oh. So you too, now that you've known that that is how they are. You're not going to confront anybody. The way they like to go to the manager, you too, you find your way to the manager to express yourself. Just kind of learn, watch them. That should be the first thing that you even do when you get to watch them. How do they act? How do they express themselves? How do they handle conflicts? Learn it and use it. Abandon everything you think you learned in Nigeria, because we are a different kind of people. We're a different, the way we operate is very different. Don't carry your Nigerian work ethic to the UK. I'll explain what I mean. From my understanding, from what I know so far, working with Nigerians, they are results oriented. So they give you a task and then they say, "Oh, do this," and the next time they're expecting to hear from you is that it is done, right? Or I'm in the process of doing it. But you see, going back to tell them, so I'll give you an example. Someone says, "Clean my house." They've given you money. You're not going back to say, "Oh, I just bought the mop. I'm going to buy the disinfectant now. I'm going to mix the water now." They'll be looking at you like, "Are you okay? Ogbeni, go and clean my house. Is that what did I ask you for all this story?" But the white people are the opposite of that. They want to hear all those, "I've gone to buy the sponge. I've gone to buy the mop. I'm mixing the soap. I'm about to start scrubbing." They like that kind of feedback where they know what is happening part time. If they give you work and you just disappear and come back with the finished results, it doesn't impress them. I don't know why. Maybe they now look at it like they didn't give you enough work, or they look at it like you're not doing enough. Is they're not impressed. But if you keep complaining, going to them and saying, "Oh, this thing, it's just really hard. I can't. I'm just trying my best." They like it. I cannot explain it. So don't carry your Nigerian gree work, 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 work. Slow yourself down. If there's something that requires 4 people to do it and only you can do it, my dear, wait for the other 3 people. Don't over exert yourself. It's not rewarded, actually. So if it takes 4 people to do something and it's just you will wait for the 3 people. You have to wait for them to come. Because if you now get into trouble doing it by yourself, maybe something goes wrong, you will carry the blame. They will not praise you for, "Oh, she was trying to help." They will say, "Don't you know the policy? Don't you know the rules? Did you not know that you needed 3 more people? Why did you attempt to do it by yourself?" You will carry all the blame on your head. They don't reward that kind of behavior. Another thing that came as a shock to me was that they use more of indirect communication and what I would like to call a bit of passive aggressiveness. So you might have an issue with someone. You will be the last person to hear about it. The whole organization will hear about it before you. And when you ask them what's their reason for behaving like that, "Oh, I don't want to confront her. I don't want to confront her." But what you're doing is even worse than confrontation, because you're gossiping, you're slandering the person's name, you're creating a false impression to suit your narrative. You are making people question that person's ability or capability to do their job. How is that better than confronting? As a Nigerian, if someone does something to you at work, you can go and say, "Look, what you did not make sense. Why did you do what you did?" And I'm not talking about being aggressive. I'm just talking about having a conversation and saying, "Why have you done what you have done?" And a lot of times when the people involved are mature, it leads to the conflicts being easily resolved instead of dragging issues out. Let the people involved just have a one-to-one conversation and they resolve it. But these ones, I noticed that it was everywhere that I worked. Everywhere. Something will happen between you and somebody. The person will not say one word to you. They just go straight to the manager. And I can understand why they also do that, because if you also have an understanding of how the system works, if somebody confronts you, you can go to the manager as well. You can use it. You can twist it in your favor. So they too, they don't want the first conversation they're having with you, it should not be that nobody was there. It should not be a she said, he said kind of situation. So I think that's why they usually go to the man. They just go straight to the manager. Nobody says anything. There was one experience I had that drove me crazy. So I was working in a school. So I later switched to teaching. After I just said, let me try this thing. People are doing it. So I said, okay, let me switch to early years education. So I started working in the early years. I was working with a particular lady, younger than me. She was the room leader. And then something happened in the room. Maybe I was supposed to do something and I did not do it. And then I was right there. And she was like maybe 5, 6 feet away from me. And I could hear her talking in hushed tones. Why would she do that? Why would she? To another member of staff. And I'm right there. And I didn't even know what they were talking about at that point. It's not like you have told me and I gave you a bad response. So you started gossiping. You went straight to telling other people that, oh, she did. And then me, being the person that I am, I ignored them. I just said no here because I had a rule. I said, if you don't say it to my face, you did not say it at all. And it does not exist to me. When you say it to my face is when I will acknowledge it. But if anything you don't say to my face, that's your problem. So I was just going to work normally, minding my business, and that thing was paining them. Because when they do things like that to you, they want to affect your emotions. They want to affect you in some way. And when they see that it is not affecting you, they get they get triggered. And then the situation changes. They now become the victim. Meanwhile, they try to do something bad to you, but it did not work. So now they now put on that victim cap. Oh, she doesn't care. Oh, she's this. She doesn't even care. She doesn't involve herself. She doesn't do this. So when the lady did that thing, I just ignored her. I now started hearing just different gists, from other class teachers. And somebody now came to ask me that what happened. I said, she's European, but I really liked her. We really gelled because she says her mind. She's like, I think Europeans have something in common with Africans. Because I've worked with them as well. They speak their mind, honestly. They don't they will tell you how it is. I've worked with someone from Poland, I've worked with an Italian. They just say it the way it is, and I think I like them, right? So she told me what's happening in your class, and I was like, I don't know, is there something happening? Because me too, I don't take that bait because I know that they've gossiped to you, so don't come and be. I'm not a baby. So she now told me, oh, this is what this person said. I said, this is the first time I'm hearing this. We are both in the same room. She has never had that conversation with me. So anyway, the issue got to the manager. The manager called me to talk to me, and she was like, um, they said that this, and I was like, she never mentioned anything to me. I'm in that classroom with her. She didn't say nothing to me. She's not meant to tell you everything. And then in that same interview, they are complaining about so that particular organization was filled with young people. I think the company knew what they were doing. So they hired a lot of young people. And in the UK, you get paid according to your age. When you're a certain age, there's a certain amount that you can earn. So if you're still in your early, maybe 19, 20, 21, there's a certain threshold. So they hire people from that age range, and then they now hire like older supervisors and older like room leaders, but most of their workers are like very young, so there's a lot of drama, a lot of pettiness. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to it because like these people are literally babies to me, right? So they gossip a lot. Somebody will come into the room now, they will smile, they will talk, they will do everything, and then once the person leaves that room, even me myself, I shock. Even me myself, I shock. The way they will just rip this person to pieces. So after seeing that multiple times, I'm not really interested in having conversations with them. Funny enough, I will greet them more. I would have normal chats about the job and just simple things, but they want you to be immersed in that whole gossip. And these people don't even have limits. They gossip about the owner, they gossip about the management. They don't care. They just like talking about people. So they were like, oh, they said you don't talk to them, that you keep to yourself. I'm like, do I not say hi to you? Do I not greet you? Do I not talk? Like, do we not have normal conversations? Said, yes, but most times you're just by yourself. I'm like, why do you want to talk to me about irrelevant things, but you cannot talk to me about my job? You just stated here that I made a mistake on the job. You didn't tell me. But you want to talk to me about rubbish. Literally, they were looking at me like, this guy is strange. But me, at that point, I didn't care. I already know I was going back to Nigeria. So I was just once I made up my mind to come back to Nigeria, the boldness that came upon me, I don't even know where it came from. I said, I'm not interested in any rubbish conversation. You can't have conversations with me that will lead to my professional growth or my improvement. You can't tell me what I'm doing wrong as a room leader, but you want to talk to me about what? I asked her. She was looking at me. I'm not interested in gossip. Gossip does not serve me. I have a lot of things that I'm thinking about as an immigrant. You people cannot relate. You don't understand my struggle. So if I'm coming to work, I'm not coming to involve myself in petty drama. So, but apparently that is also a crime. Minding your business is a crime. Please don't. If you work in the UK, don't mind your business. So don't mind your business because you are just putting yourself as a target. If you are not joining them in the conversation of gossiping, you will become the topic of gossip. Okay, no, don't gossip, but just I don't even know how to advise you because it's a tough one. It's a really tough one. And I think that the reason why they do that, why they don't tell you, they go around, spoiling you to other people, is because they want to have the upper hand in the conversation. They want to gather sympathy, gather supporters. And one thing I noticed about that place, at the workplace, is that there's a lot of herd mentality. Everybody just goes the same way. You hardly find people expressing different opinions. I'm like, is it possible for you people to always be agreeing on an issue? Or is it that some people are just stifling themselves and hiding their own opinions, their true opinions? Of which I don't blame them, because honestly, it does nothing for you. Being different, expressing a different opinion, it will not even serve you in any way. So don't do it. You have to learn small talk. You have to learn small talk. What did I say? Learn small talk. When I first got there, I'm always like, why are people having all these random conversations about, your cats, the plants in your house, your grandma? You don't even know me like that. Like, why do you feel comfortable telling me all these things? Then I realized that it doesn't mean anything to them. They can tell you anything. They just trauma dump on you. I'm like, I didn't ask for all that. At first I didn't like it because I don't know what to respond when you tell me certain things. I'm used to just basic level conversations, especially when we don't have a close relationship. But it's something that is very valued. Like, small, being able to have small talk can literally change your life, because the people that are up there, managers, supervisors, whoever, they love it. They like small talk. So find a way to learn it. Find a way to, encourage people to talk to you. So even if you're not talking, know the kind of things to say that encourages them to keep talking. The days I used to be so tired, Fridays, they'll say, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend? Any plans?" It's like pressure. Me, I just want to go home and sleep. Stop asking me what I'm doing this weekend. After working from Monday to Friday for how many hours? You're still asking me about my weekend plans. And if you say you're not doing anything, it kind of looks like, okay. So sometimes you have to even lie, or you have to exaggerate what you're doing. Oh, I'm going to this place, just so you have something to say. And this thing is every Friday. I'm like, people don't sleep, people don't rest. You don't sleep in. Why is it that Saturday you just carry yourself and say you are going somewhere? Even some people, it's from that Friday. From work, they are going straight to the pub. And when they ask me, I'm like, oh, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just going to do laundry. I'm just going to cook for the week. And they look at me like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going anywhere. The job that I'm doing, that I'm still looking for money to pay bills, and I should not carry the money and be using it to go outside, to go and drink, or to go and eat. Like, come on, be for real. And then on Monday, when you come back on Monday, they'll still ask you, how was your weekend? How was the place you went to? How was, sometimes it's nice. Right. So if I have a good relationship with you, I don't mind having all of that discussion. But you see, when it annoys me is when someone that doesn't like you, or someone that doesn't even treat you well at work, is asking about your weekend. Like, come off it. Don't ask me. Let's just say good morning, welcome to a new weekend. Let everybody mind their business. But don't be like me. Oh. Some of the things that I did, eh, was because I just knew at the back of my mind that I was coming back to Nigeria. But if you are someone that is serious about working and becoming something in that country, please learn how to do small talk. It will really help you. While I was still a student, I thought that my student visa was the reason why I wasn't getting jobs or getting good jobs, which is partly true. So even when I switched to my post-study work visa, I had a bit of hope that, okay, finally, I've gotten my master's, and, I can now apply for better jobs. Who's going to tell her? Who was going to tell me? Nobody told me. Nobody told me. That was when I realized that, I think this master's degree doesn't even mean anything to these people, though, because it doesn't even move employers. It doesn't move. What is a master's degree? They have what is known as MBQ. It's like minimum qualification that you can get in any field. I think they have it for almost all the fields. They have it in healthcare. They have it in childcare. They have it in beauty, hairdressing. They have it in literally almost any field you can think of. Those degrees or those certificates are, even because they are not even full degrees, they're just short courses, are even more respected and will get you a job more than your master's degree. The amount of unfortunately emails that I got, unfortunately, UK people know this joke. You will just be saying, unfortunately, we are sorry to inform you. We cannot at this time, we are not. It just made me have a rethink. I was like, okay, maybe I should drop my hopes a little bit and start from the bottom again. So I started looking at, teaching assistant roles. And that was the only thing I was able to get. And once I got into that role, my eye opened. You will see 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds with that, when they would just go straight from secondary school, they would just go and do that MVQ, and they're earning up to 7,000, 8,000 pounds more than you in a year. And you are there with your masters. You're carrying your masters up and down. They don't care. Like, it doesn't mean anything to them. So if you want to survive in the UK, you need to make sure that you don't have mid-level skills. I mean, skills that just anybody can do just because you're educated or you have a degree. Those kind of skills that are just anybody can learn how to do it. You need to be highly skilled, either tech, engineering, or you need to be very strong physically to do really hard labor, like hard work. But you see all those jobs that are just chill and they're just maybe like office work, front desk, admin, all of those things. You will not smell it. You will not smell it. It's not reserved for you. Sorry. So I always tell people that the UK is not a country where you go to chase your dreams. It's more like, oh, the UK needs this, so you now pivot. The UK needs nurses, you now go and study nursing. The UK needs this, you now go and study that. And me, I'm always like, I didn't have plans for myself, or I didn't have what I wanted to do in my life before coming to the UK. Why should I now be living the kind of life where everything I'm now doing is based on what the UK needs or what the UK wants? But that's like the harsh reality of, an immigrant's life. Hi guys, it's Future One Day here. I'm editing the video. Tell me why this video is 1 hour 30 minutes long. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to break it into 3 parts. Make sure that you're subscribed. Please turn on your notifications so that you can know when I post the remaining parts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.